You were not born to live a life of quiet desperation. You were not meant to spend your days merely surviving, scraping by, and thinking small. You were created in the image of the infinite. The possibilities within you are limitless, but most people never tap into their greatness. Not because they're incapable, but because they refuse to believe that something bigger is possible. They've been conditioned to think small, to play it safe, and to wait for permission that will never come. Every success story that has ever inspired you began the same way, with a thought, one bold, fearless thought. The skyscrapers, the airplanes, the internet, the empires, the innovations that changed the world all started as invisible ideas in someone's mind. They thought big. They imagined beyond their circumstances. They stretched the boundaries of what was reasonable. And they refused to let the smallness of their beginning limit the largeness of their vision. But here's the truth most people ignore: dreaming big alone is not enough. The ones who succeed are those who start. And they start small. They understand that no tree grows without first planting the seed. No fortune is built without laying the foundation brick by brick. If you want to change your life, start with what you have. Use what you know. Begin right where you are, and don't despise the size of your beginning. The power is not in how much you start with. The power is in the decision to start at all. You don't have to own $1 million company to think like a millionaire. You don't have to live in a mansion to act like royalty, because the habits of the wealthy begin long before the wealth arrives. And the attitude of the rich precedes the riches. It is a law. What you embody internally, you attract externally. That is why some men with no money still walk with confidence, talk with certainty, and carry themselves with an unshakable vision. They are not waiting for wealth to give them permission to act wealthy. They have chosen to become the kind of person that wealth is attracted to. Most people think the rich have secrets, and they do, but those secrets aren't locked in vaults. They are hidden in plain sight, disguised as discipline, consistency, long-term thinking, and delayed gratification. The rich don't chase money, they create value. They understand that money is not the goal, it's the result of service, strategy, and self-mastery. You must think big, not because it's easy or comfortable, but because it forces your mind to expand. A small dream doesn't require you to grow. It allows you to stay the same. But a big dream will stretch you, confront you, and demand more of you. It will challenge your habits, test your discipline, and separate you from average people who refuse to change. Big thinking is the beginning of transformation. But don't let the bigness of your dream paralyze you. That's where most people get stuck. They stare so long at the mountaintop that they forget the journey begins with one step. You don't climb Everest in a day. You don't build an empire overnight. You don't become world-class without embracing the process. Start small. That's the secret. Begin with the resources you have, no matter how humble. Use the tools in your hand. Apply the knowledge you've acquired. Take one step every day, one call, one idea, 1 hour of focused work, one disciplined decision, and compound those small beginnings into unstoppable momentum. You can start a business with a phone and an internet connection. You can write a book with a notebook and a pen. You can master a skill with 15 minutes a day. You can network, research, study, improve, refine, all without needing anyone's permission. And while you're building, act like the rich, not in arrogance, not in pretense, but in mindset, in discipline, in decision-making. How would a wealthy person spend their time today? How would they manage their energy, guard their attention, and structure their day? Begin to live in alignment with the outcome you desire. The wealthy plan decades ahead. They don't spend all their income. They invest in their growth. They build relationships, not just transactions. They value their time more than their money because they know time is the one resource that never comes back. If you want wealth, act like it. Start waking up early. Read books that feed your mind. Speak words that build your future. Dress with purpose. Speak with clarity. Make decisions like someone who knows where they're going. You cannot attract abundance with a poverty mindset. You cannot lead others if you can't lead yourself. Success does not respond to desperation. It responds to preparation. Most people beg for opportunity, but fail to prepare when it knocks. If you knew your breakthrough was arriving in 6 months, how would you prepare today? If you knew the door would open next year, would you not be building the skills, the confidence, the discipline now? Think like a king even when you're still in the field. Act like the owner even when you're still the intern. Treat every small task like it's the key to your future. Because how you do anything is how you'll do everything. Excellence is not a switch you turn on once you succeed. It's a habit you build in obscurity. The world does not reward ideas. It rewards execution. Everyone has a dream, but very few turn those dreams into systems, strategies, and consistent effort. You don't need a better idea, you need better habits. And you need the courage to follow through. Every wealthy person you admire once stood where you stand, uncertain, hungry, doubtful, broke. But they made a decision to think bigger than their current reality, a decision to start with what they had, and a decision to embody the mindset of the rich even when their bank account didn't agree. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop playing small. The world doesn't need more average. It needs people who are willing to raise their standard, demand more from themselves, and become examples of what's possible. The wealthy don't get rich by accident. They think differently. They plan carefully. They act consistently. They delay gratification. They don't need validation to pursue their vision. They surround themselves with winners. They take risks, but calculated ones. They build, they learn, they grow, and they never stop. If something fails, they learn. If something succeeds, they scale. They do not stop. That mindset is available to you right now. You don't need millions to act like someone destined for millions. You just need a decision, a commitment, a willingness to do the uncomfortable, over and over again, until the uncomfortable becomes normal and the extraordinary becomes expected. Your environment might be ordinary, but your thinking doesn't have to be. You may have grown up in lack, but you don't have to stay there. Poverty may have been your starting point, but it doesn't have to be your legacy. You were born to build something great, but that greatness will never reveal itself until you decide you're worthy of it. So think big. Let your vision be so massive that it scares you a little. Then start small. Take the steps. Do the work. Build the habits. Grow into the person who can carry the weight of that vision. And along the way, act like the rich. Not for appearances, but for alignment. Let your daily life match the destiny you are walking toward. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you expect. You get what you prepare for. You get what you become. And if you are bold enough to think big, humble enough to start small, and wise enough to act like the rich, then there is no force on earth that can stop you. When you begin to think on a grand scale, something powerful happens inside you. Your conversations shift. Your energy changes. You no longer engage in idle gossip or waste your hours on things that don't move you forward. You develop a new level of discernment about people, about time, about choices. You begin to see clearly what serves your future and what distracts from it. Your surroundings might not reflect your inner vision just yet, but that is no reason to shrink your thoughts. The apartment you live in, the car you drive, or the clothes you wear do not determine your value. Your real worth lies in your ability to see beyond your current limitations. People may call you unrealistic. Let them. People may say you're aiming too high. Let them speak. Because the truth is, they're only talking from the level of their own limitations, not yours. Visionaries are always misunderstood at first. When you start acting differently, those who are committed to average will try to bring you back down to their level. That is the price of greatness. When you start setting higher standards, you'll lose people. But the ones you attract after that are the ones who belong in the next chapter of your journey. Don't let small minds convince you your dreams are too big. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay hungry. Do you want to know what separates the poor from the wealthy more than anything else? It's not money. It's how they think about time. The poor waste time like they'll live forever. The wealthy guard it like it's gold. Every hour of your life is a seed. You can plant it in productivity or waste it in procrastination. But remember this, Your future self is the harvest of today's time investments. Every successful person you admire has mastered the same invisible principles. They live by design, not by default. They rise early, not because it's trendy, but because they understand that the early hours are where clarity is found. They plan their day before it begins. They reflect before they act. They think before they speak. They say no often. They protect their energy because they know that wasted energy leads to wasted destiny. Start thinking like this, and you'll start noticing something incredible. Opportunities that once seemed invisible begin to appear. Ideas that once felt impossible now seem within reach. You'll start connecting dots that others can't even see. Your world won't just change around you. It will change within you. That's the power of alignment. But you must be willing to walk alone for a while. Most people are not building their lives, they're escaping them. They binge distractions, they complain about circumstances, and they wait for someone else to change things. But the builders, the true visionaries, they're working when no one's watching. They're thinking years ahead, while others are thinking about the weekend. If you can do that, if you can endure the loneliness of preparation, you will be celebrated in public for what you built in private. Most will only see the results. They won't see the late nights, the discipline, the tears, the doubt, the quiet sacrifices. And that's okay. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it for freedom. You will never rise above the standards you set for yourself. If your standards are low, your results will be too. Raise them. Raise your self-talk. Raise your behavior. Raise your expectations. If you want a wealthy life, you cannot live with a poor mindset. You must start carrying yourself like someone with purpose and power. Wealthy people don't make excuses. They make adjustments. They don't wait for the right conditions. They create them. And when you start thinking big, starting small, and acting like the rich, something miraculous begins to unfold. You build confidence. Not the kind of confidence that comes from praise or recognition, but the kind that is forged through effort, repetition, and discipline. Every task you complete, every fear you overcome, every time you choose growth over comfort, you build that confidence. And that confidence builds your future. Success is not one big break. It's 1,000 small wins. It's doing the thing you said you would do even when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up consistently. It's choosing purpose over pleasure. It's becoming so obsessed with your vision that failure becomes irrelevant. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need one person, you. If you can believe in your own potential, truly believe, then you unlock something most people will never experience: momentum. And momentum is a force more powerful than motivation. Motivation fades. Momentum multiplies. Once you taste the power of progress, you won't want to stop. You'll start living with urgency. You'll stop settling. You'll walk differently, talk differently, think differently. You'll carry yourself like someone who knows where they're going. And that's exactly the kind of person the universe responds to. The choice is always yours. You can stay where it's safe, or you can step into your calling. You can live by fear, or you can live by faith. But you cannot do both. If you want to rise, you must be willing to release the things that weigh you down: fear, doubt, laziness, excuses, distractions. You've been given a mind powerful enough to create entire worlds. Use it, direct it, train it. Let your thoughts become your strategy and your actions become your proof. Don't let another year pass you by talking about what you should do. Start doing. Start building. Start becoming. Because in the end, it's not the man with the most talent who wins. It's the man with the most discipline. Not the one who dreams the biggest, but the one who takes action day after day without quitting, even when no one is watching. Think big. Start small. Act like the rich. And don't stop. And now, as you stand at the edge of the life you've known and the life you desire, you must choose. Will you remain in the realm of hesitation, playing small, waiting for signs and approval? Or will you rise, boldly, deliberately, and walk toward the life that has always been waiting for your decision? The dream is already yours. The vision is already within you. But only action can give it life. Only discipline can make it real. Only persistence can carry it across the finish line. So let this be the moment you draw the line in the sand and say, enough. Enough of waiting. Enough of shrinking. Enough of thinking that wealth, purpose, and greatness are for someone else. They are for you, but only if you're willing to claim them. Think like there are no limits. Start like you have everything you need, and act like the rich. Not for appearance, but for preparation. For what you become in the process is far greater than anything you acquire. The world makes way for the man who knows where he's going. Decide today. Decide now. Your future isn't waiting, it's watching. And it's time you gave it something legendary to see.